At 5 a.m., in the biting -4 degrees Fahrenheit cold of a Moscow morning, a 440-pound Beaver drone is exactly 87 seconds away from triggering a Russian economic catastrophe. It's skimming just 130 feet above the frozen Moskva River, carrying a 44-pound concrete-piercing warhead aimed at the IQ quarter, the financial heart of the Kremlin. One gust of wind or one stray tracer, and a $110,000 gamble fails. But if it hits, Putin's oil windfall evaporates in a cloud of server smoke. This mission to bankrupt a superpower started 500 miles ago. The timing is surgical. It's March 2026. Global oil prices have just skyrocketed 13% in 48 hours following an American strike on Iran. With the Strait of Hormuz on fire, Putin is sitting in the Kremlin, counting the billions he expects to rake in from high-priced crude. He thinks he's won. But today, Ukraine isn't targeting his oil wells. They're targeting the brain that manages the money. The target, the IQ quarter at the Moscow International Business Center. 5:05 a.m. The primary Beaver strike drone is currently trenching, hugging the ice-choked surface of the Moskva River at just 130 feet to stay beneath the secondary radar horizon. But the real tactical brilliance isn't in its low-altitude flight. It's in the saturation wave that began 24 hours ago. While the Russian high command was congratulating itself on a quiet night, 12 expendable Beaver decoys, low-cost variants built for less than $5,000 apiece, have been swarming the Moscow airspace from multiple vectors. These decoys are equipped with active radar reflectors specifically tuned to mimic the signature of a much larger strike force. Inside their hardened bunkers, the Russian Pantsir-S1 crews are exhausted but focused. Their radar screens are a chaotic mess of incoming ghosts. They engage with everything they have. The roar of 57 E-6 missiles fills the morning sky, each one costing the Russian taxpayer between $100,000 and $200,000. To the Russian operators, it looks like a total victory. They watch 12 distinct orange blooms on their thermal displays and cheer, "The sky is clean, all targets neutralized." This is the ultimate case of dramatic irony. The Russians believe they have just saved the city. In reality, they have just traded roughly $2 million in high-end, unreplaceable interceptor missiles for a pile of Ukrainian plywood and cheap electronics. They are literally burning their defensive capacity into the freezing air. While the Russian crews are celebrating and beginning the slow process of reloading their launcher rails, a process that can take up to 20 minutes for a full replenishment, the real Beaver is just 2 minutes out. It is ghosting through the radar shadows of the high riverbanks, its 440-pound frame shielded by the very geography of the city. Russia's billion-dollar umbrella hasn't just been breached, it's been emptied. The financial heart of the Kremlin is now wide open, and the only thing standing in the way is a sky full of empty missile tubes. 5:07 a.m. The Beaver strike drone has moved beyond the open ice of the Moskva River and is now threading a high-speed path through a concrete and glass labyrinth. Towering skyscrapers, some reaching over 1,100 feet into the freezing fog, create a tactical environment known as an urban canyon. This setting represents the ultimate technical challenge for traditional long-range air defense systems. On a nearby rooftop, the 92N6E Gravestone radar, the multi-billion-dollar central processor for the S-400 Triumph system, finally detects a momentary flickering shimmer 130 feet above the water. The signal is heavily distorted by the massive glass surfaces of the Federation Tower, causing the radar's heuristic algorithms to struggle with multipath interference. The defensive grid is reacting with mechanical desperation, but the previous 24-hour decoy waves have left the Pantsir-S1 missile racks 80% empty. A standard reload cycle for these units takes 20 minutes. The Beaver is currently less than 60 seconds from impact. The rooftop defensive units switch to their secondary weapon systems, twin 30mm 2A38M automatic cannons. They initiate saturation fire, spitting a wall of lead at a rate of 4,000 rounds per minute. The sky over Moscow City is suddenly illuminated by white-hot tracers, a high-intensity kinetic shield designed to shred low-flying aerial threats. However, the high-volume fire rapidly depletes the remaining ammunition drums. Within 3 massive bursts, the primary defense unit reaches its cycle limit and goes silent. The Ukrainian operator, 500 miles away, compensates with a high G bank. dipping the Beaver drone behind the 1,200-foot glass facade of a neighboring skyscraper. This maneuver utilizes the architecture of the city as a physical shield. The intense radar reflections from the building's glass exterior make the 440-pound drone effectively invisible to the gravestone's tracking sensors. The Beaver has vanished into a radar shadow created by the very infrastructure it is targeting. The billion-dollar Russian defense grid is now facing a terminal crisis. Its missile tubes are empty, its cannons are dry, and its primary sensors are blinded by the city's own geometry. The Beaver drone is less than 2,000 yards from the IQ quarter, maintaining a steady 120 miles per hour glide through the heart of the Russian financial district, 5:08 a.m. The Russian Electronic Warfare Suite, a high-power Krasuka 4 mobile system, initiates a broadband saturation pulse. This wall of electromagnetic noise instantly severs the FPV control link to the Ukrainian operator 500 miles away. The 1080p thermal feed dissolves into digital static. Without human guidance, the Beaver drone's 440-pound frame begins to drift in the erratic crosswinds between the skyscrapers. Its left wingtip passes within 15 feet of a neighboring tower's glass facade, threatening a non-strategic impact. There are exactly 12 seconds remaining before the mission ends in a total failure against a random wall of concrete. The Beaver's onboard flight computer, sensing the total loss of the command link, activates a pre-programmed AI sleeping mode. The electric motor cuts out instantly, and the variable pitch propeller feathers into a zero-drag configuration. The drone becomes a silent, unpowered glider, ghosting through the dark corridor between the skyscrapers like a phantom. Because there is no longer a heat signature from the motor or an active radio emission for the Russian ESM arrays to track, the drone effectively vanishes from the defensive grid. To the Russian automated systems, the target appears to have crashed or been neutralized. However, the Ukrainian mission architecture includes a tactical redundancy, a repeater Beaver. This specialized signals relay drone, hidden in a radar blind spot 10 miles outside the city, re-establishes a narrow beam encrypted link by using the river's reflective surface to bounce the signal around the primary jamming field. The operator's feed snaps back into focus. The Beaver drone re-engages its motor with a high-torque burst surging forward. Simultaneously, it deploys an internal spoofing pod which releases a digital radio echo and a cloud of micro-chaff. This creates a series of high-fidelity ghost returns on the Russian radar screens coming from the opposite direction. The remaining Pantsir-S1 units, reacting to what they believe is the real threat, rotate their turrets 180 degrees and fire their final remaining 30mm shells into empty air. The Russian ammunition magazines hit zero. The billion-dollar defensive umbrella is now completely depleted. The real Beaver drone, less than 400 yards from the IQ quarter, enters its final terminal dive. The financial heart of the Kremlin is wide open, and the VTN of the Russian state is exactly 9 seconds away from a kinetic audit. 5:09 a.m. The 440-pound Beaver drone enters its terminal dive phase, accelerating to 120 miles per hour as it bores into the crystalline facade of the Moscow International Business Center. The thermal camera on the drone's nose locks onto the specific heat signatures of the 10th, 11th, and 12th floors, the primary server clusters and data centers for the Russian Ministry of Economic Development and the federal agencies managing the Kremlin's oil revenues. This is the digital vault where billions in sanctioned crude oil transactions are processed, and it is exactly 9 seconds from a total kinetic audit. The tactical environment has shifted from a complex urban canyon to a straight-line sprint. 500 miles away, the Ukrainian operator stabilizes the FPV feed, aligning the crosshairs with a specific structural weak point between the reinforced glass panes. The contrast is absolute. While global oil markets are in a state of chaos, the staff inside the IQ quarter are just beginning to realize that the billion-dollar defensive umbrella over their heads has completely failed. In the Russian command bunker, the 92N6E gravestone radar screen is frozen in a terminal logic loop. The system identifies the threat but displays a magazine-depleted status for every Pantsir-S1 unit in the sector. The billion-dollar S-400 network has been reduced to a passive observer. On the ground, Russian security details engage in a final uncoordinated attempt at defense, firing AK-12 rifles from the street level. The 5.45mm rounds strike the Beaver's composite airframe but fail to penetrate the internal flight control housing or the 44-pound warhead. The countdown enters its final 5 seconds. The FP5 feed captures the frantic movement of personnel inside the offices as the silhouette of the 440-pound drone fills their windows. There is no longer any jamming, no more decoys, and no more radar shadows. Only the cold physics of a 120 miles per hour impact. The Beaver drone's nose-mounted sensors calculate the final distance: 200 feet, 100 feet, 50 feet. The air pressure within the urban canyon spikes as the drone's aerodynamic wake rattles the surrounding glass towers. The most heavily defended financial district on Earth is currently wide open to a $110,000 weapon. 5:10 a.m. The Beaver drone impacts the 11th floor with surgical precision. The 44-pound concrete-piercing warhead combined with the 440-pound airframe traveling at 120 miles per hour generates a kinetic energy equivalent to a city bus hitting a 4-foot-wide point at highway speeds. The primary explosion is a high-intensity thermal bloom that instantly vaporizes the central data processing units of the Russian Ministry of Economic Development. The blast is followed by a secondary chain reaction as the high-voltage backup power systems and lithium-ion battery banks ignite, sending a 2,000-degree Fahrenheit firestorm through the 10th and 12th floors. 15 miles away, the shockwave shatters the structural glass of neighboring skyscrapers, creating a rain of crystalline debris that falls onto the empty streets below. The financial heart of the Russian state is no longer a boardroom. It is a high-altitude incinerator. While the world is focused on the 13% spike in global oil prices, the infrastructure required to manage Russia's share of that profit has been decapitated. The destruction of the primary server clusters has frozen hundreds of millions of dollars in sanctioned oil transactions, creating a massive digital bottleneck in the Kremlin's war chest. For the next 48 hours, the Russian financial system is effectively blind, unable to synchronize the flow of petrodollars with the logistical requirements of the front lines. The physical analysis of the strike reveals a masterpiece of cost efficiency. Ukraine traded a single $110,000 Beaver drone and 12 plywood decoys for the total paralysis of a multi-billion-dollar financial hub. The billion-dollar S-400 and Pantsir-S1 umbrella, designed to survive a NATO air campaign, was rendered useless by a simple depletion strategy and the urban canyon geometry of Moscow itself. To the Russian high command, the IQ quarter was an impenetrable fortress. To the Ukrainian operator, it was merely a fragile paper wallet waiting to be shredded. Strategically, the impact is felt far beyond the broken glass of Moscow City. The Russian stock market, MOEX, plummeted 8% within minutes of the first images appearing on social media. Vladimir Putin was forced into a 3 a.m. emergency meeting with his central bankers, not to discuss military strategy, but to figure out how to keep the state's payroll from collapsing. The myth of Moscow's untouchable status has been permanently replaced by the reality of its vulnerability. The lesson for the Kremlin is brutal. Do not underestimate a nation that can turn your own Moskva River into a drone highway and your skyscrapers into camouflage. Ukraine didn't just strike a building. They proved that even a nuclear superpower can be bankrupted by 44 pounds of high explosives and a well-placed decoy wave. Moscow's billion-dollar defense grid failed because it was designed for a 20th century war, while Ukraine is fighting a 21st century economic audit. Now, a question for the tactical analysts in the comments. If you were the commander of this Beaver unit, what would be your next move after the primary hub is down? Would you target the backup data centers in the suburbs, or would you use the remaining decoys to strike a different psychological target? Let us know your strategy below. If you enjoyed this breakdown of how asymmetric warfare is rewriting the rules of global finance, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the Ghost Fleet. Bye for now.